The night air over Lagos carried a gentle hum. The waves from the ocean whispered against the shore as city lights shimmered in the distance. Mireya stood on the edge of the mainland, her caramel skin glowing beneath the silver light of the moon. She was no longer the mermaid who once swam in the deep currents of the horizon. She was now a young, vibrant woman in her late 20s, her wavy hair falling around her shoulders, her body carrying the elegance of a queen and the innocence of someone stepping into the human world for the very first time. She adjusted the native blazer she had chosen, a soft, wine-colored fabric that clung to her waist and accentuated her shape. Beneath it, her curves spoke of grace, yet her heart trembled like a child about to walk into school for the first time. She had transformed, but transformation was only the first step. Now came the real test, entering the world of the man who had stolen her thoughts and ignited her dreams. Mireya walked cautiously, her bare feet pressing against the paved roads of the highbrow estate. Every detail of the place seemed like it had been pulled from her vision. The tall palm trees lined with decorative lights, the sound of crickets hidden in manicured gardens, the smell of expensive perfumes carried faintly in the air. And above all, the house. The duplex stood like a palace, cream-white walls glowing beneath street lamps, polished tiles catching the faint light. A black SUV rested by the gate, shining like obsidian. And there he was, Obinna. Tall, handsome, with broad shoulders that filled his navy blue senator attire. He walked with a calm confidence, briefcase in hand, his eyes sharp yet kind. His presence demanded respect, yet his aura radiated warmth. Mireya's heart skipped. She had seen him here before in her vision, but now it was no longer imagination. This was reality. Her breath caught in her throat as she whispered softly to herself, "This is it. I am here, in his world." She dared not walk too close at first. She hid behind the palm tree opposite the house and watched as Obinna locked the gate and made his way towards his car. He hummed a tune softly, keys jingling in his hand. Every movement fascinated her. But Mireya soon realized, if she was going to get in his world, she couldn't remain a shadow. She had to step forward. Summoning her courage, she walked towards the gate. Her steps were light but confident, her posture regal yet humble. She stood just close enough for him to notice. Obinna paused, sensing someone's presence. He turned, and their eyes met for the first time, not in vision, but in truth. "Good evening," Mireya said softly, her voice melodic, carrying the depth of the ocean. Obinna tilted his head, his gaze scanning her cautiously. She was striking, unfamiliar, yet not threatening. "Good evening. Are you looking for someone?" Her lips curved into a small, mysterious smile. "Perhaps. I think I may have found him." Obinna frowned slightly, unsure what to make of her words. "Excuse me?" But before he could ask further, the security guard approached, breaking the moment. Mireya knew it wasn't time yet. She bowed her head politely, whispering, "We'll meet again," and walked away into the shadows of the estate road, leaving Obinna staring after her. The days that followed tested Mireya. She could not simply walk into Obinna's heart. She had to blend into his world. And that meant learning everything about the human way of living. She found a lodging in a small guest house near the estate. The owner, a kind elderly woman named Mama Grace, mistook her for a young professional lady who had just moved into town. Mireya said little, but her presence carried such grace that Mama Grace quickly grew fond of her. Mireya spent hours observing people, how they spoke, how they dressed, how they worked. She learned to greet warmly, to smile politely, to eat with cutlery instead of scooping food with her bare hands. She marveled at the taste of jollof rice and fried plantain, laughing when the pepper made her eyes water. Every night, she stood by the estate's edge and watched as Obinna returned home, sometimes in his SUV, sometimes with friends, sometimes late after meetings. She studied his patterns, his routines, his laughter. The more she watched, the more she longed to step closer. But a voice inside warned her, "Patience, Mireya. The sea is vast, but every wave begins with a ripple." It was a Sunday morning when fate gave her an opening. Obinna stepped out of his house in a crisp white agbada, his cap tilted neatly, his walking stick polished. He was heading to church. Mireya, dressed in a soft blue lace blouse and skirt she had bought from a nearby tailor, decided to follow him. She walked just far enough behind him until she reached the same church, an elegant building with stained glass windows and a choir whose voices rose like angels. The service began and Mireya sat quietly in the back, listening. She had never been in a church before, but the words about love, forgiveness, and sacrifice stirred something deep within her. When the congregation stood to sing, her voice rose with theirs, carrying the depth of waves and the softness of wind. People turned to look. Her singing was enchanting, and Obinna noticed. His eyes scanned the congregation, and there she was again, the mysterious woman from the estate. After service, as people greeted one another, Obinna approached her. "I've seen you before," he said, his eyes searching hers. Mireya smiled, perhaps in a dream. Obinna chuckled lightly, though still curious. "No, outside my house. Who are you?" She paused, choosing her words carefully. "Someone who believes our paths were meant to cross." There was something in her tone, mysterious yet sincere. Obinna found himself intrigued, though unsure. "Well, since our paths have crossed, at least let me know your name." "Mireya," she said softly. Obinna repeated it, rolling the name on his tongue. "Mireya, it suits you." From that day forward, their interactions grew. Mireya began to attend the same church, sometimes sitting closer to him, sometimes sharing polite greetings. Obinna found himself drawn to her, not just her beauty, but the calm, almost otherworldly aura she carried. They spoke occasionally. He learned she was new in town. She learned he worked as a corporate lawyer, balancing high-profile cases with family expectations. Their conversations were brief, but meaningful, each word a step closer into his world. But for Mireya, every moment was a battle, for she knew a secret. She was not like other women. She was still tied to the sea, still learning to be human. And though her transformation was near perfect, she feared what would happen if Obinna discovered the truth. One evening, as she sat outside the guest house, the ocean breeze carried a haunting whisper. The waves called her name. She closed her eyes and heard the voice of an elder spirit from the deep. "Mireya, do not lose yourself. The heart of a man can be a dangerous tide. If he learns your secret, will he cherish you or will he fear you?" Her chest tightened. She wanted to believe in love and destiny and the vision that had brought her here, but she could not ignore the warning. Meanwhile, Obinna's family had begun to notice. His mother, Mama Nkechi, saw him speaking with Mireya after church one Sunday and frowned. She whispered to her friend, "Who is this strange girl? She came from nowhere. Women like that bring trouble." Rumors began to stir. Some said Mireya was too mysterious. Others admired her beauty but wondered about her past. And Obinna, though intrigued, was torn. He liked her, but something about her was different. He couldn't quite place it. One night under the full moon, Mireya stood at the water's edge. Her reflection in the waves shifted, half human, half mermaid. She gasped, clutching her chest. Her transformation wasn't permanent. The ocean was calling her back. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "No, not now. I haven't won his heart yet." But the waves roared louder, threatening to expose her secret. And at that very moment, behind her, a voice called out, "Mireya, what are you doing here?" She turned sharply. It was Obinna, and he had seen enough to know something wasn't ordinary.